The mechanic places the repair estimate in Hamna's hand. $860. She looks at the number, then quickly checks her phone. Checking account. $612. Her expression tightens. Then she opens another account. Emergency savings. $1,240. She has enough. She saved this money for exactly this kind of moment. But when the mechanic asks, "Do you want us to go ahead?" Hamna freezes. She has the money. She still feels broke. And somehow, using the money she saved for an emergency feels like losing it. The strange part isn't the $860 bill. It's the $1,240 sitting untouched in Hamna's account. Technically, she isn't broke. But psychologically, that money has already disappeared. She has mentally labeled it emergency money. Not rent money. Not grocery money. Not fun money. Money with one job. So when the repair arrives, her brain doesn't register. I have $1,240. I can handle this. It registers. I'm about to lose $860 of the money I worked so hard to protect. And that's where saving can become psychologically strange. When every dollar has to stay untouched to make you feel secure, watching the balance fall can feel like failure. Even when the money is being used exactly as intended. Saving money can feel like losing money when your brain only counts what it can spend. But Hamna doesn't need to stop saving. She needs to change what the savings are supposed to mean. And that starts with the target. An emergency fund doesn't have to begin as some intimidating $10,000 finish line. For someone earning $3,000 a month, that number can feel so distant that saving $25 today seems pointless. Instead, Hamna thinks in financial floors. First $250. Then $500. Then enough to cover one meaningful monthly expense. Those first few $100s aren't supposed to make her feel rich. They're supposed to prove something. An unexpected expense doesn't automatically have to become a crisis. Your first emergency fund doesn't need to make you safe. It needs to make you believe safety is possible. And once she has that belief, the next problem becomes obvious. Saving is much harder when every payday requires another emotional decision. The money arrives. Should I move $100? Maybe next month. Then a bill appears. Then something she wants. And suddenly, saving becomes a negotiation between her present self and her future self. So Hamna removes herself from the negotiation. Every payday, $75 automatically moves into emergency savings. No reminder. No debate. No waiting to see whether she feels responsible that week. The transfer happens before she starts mentally spending the money. And because the decision has already been made, she barely notices it. That's the power of automation. The best emergency fund habit may be the one you barely notice happening. Financial discipline gets easier when you stop requiring your emotions to approve every transfer. But automation solves only one problem. Hamna can save consistently and still look at the account and think, that money isn't mine to touch. So she changes the label. Not money I can't touch. Money that handles things my paycheck can't. Rent money has one job. Rent. Grocery money has one job. Food. Fun money has one job. Enjoyment. Emergency money has one job. Unexpected financial shocks. A car repair. An urgent home expense. A temporary interruption in income. Something essential that couldn't reasonably wait. And she decides those boundaries before the next emergency arrives. A discounted dress isn't an emergency. A weekend dinner isn't an emergency. A forgotten subscription isn't an emergency. The fund isn't there to make every uncomfortable expense disappear. It's there to keep one unavoidable expense from becoming a much bigger financial problem. Money feels less painful to save when you know exactly what you're saving it from. Then the mechanic asks again. Do you want us to go ahead? This time Hamna doesn't freeze. Go ahead. The payment goes through. $1,240 becomes $380. For a moment that number hurts. She watches the balance fall and feels the instinctive reaction. I just lost $860. Then she checks her checking account. Still $612. Her rent is still covered. Her groceries are still covered. Next month's paycheck doesn't have to become a rescue plan. And she doesn't need to put the repair on a credit card and spend the next few months trying to escape the bill. The savings balance got smaller. Her financial life didn't. In fact, something unexpected happens. Hamna feels stronger because the money didn't disappear. It stepped in when her paycheck couldn't. That's what an emergency fund is supposed to do. Sometimes spending your emergency fund is proof that your emergency fund worked. And now the $75 transfer means something different. It isn't money being taken away from her life. It's money protecting the life she's already paying for. The repair is over. But the fund has changed something bigger than her bank balance. Hamna starts noticing that she doesn't react to money the way she used to. A friend asks her to join an expensive weekend. She doesn't automatically say yes. A purchase she wants suddenly feels less urgent. At work, she can question an unnecessary expense instead of accepting it, because she's afraid of what happens if she says no. And when something unexpected appears, she doesn't immediately think, "What if I can't afford this?" She has somewhere to stand. That's what the emergency fund quietly gives her. Not just cash, decision-making space. Because when every unexpected expense feels dangerous, fear starts making your financial decisions for you. But when there's a buffer, you can pause, think, choose. An emergency fund doesn't just protect your bank account. It protects the part of you that has to make decisions when you're scared. And that changes the meaning of feeling broke. Maybe being broke isn't only about having a low balance. Maybe it's about having no room to breathe. Weeks later, Hamna drives past the same repair shop. She remembers the estimate, the hesitation, the fear that using her savings meant becoming poorer. But now she sees the number differently. Her emergency fund isn't enormous. It doesn't make her rich. It gives her distance between an unexpected expense and a financial crisis. That's the part a bank balance can't always show. You can have money available to spend and still be financially fragile. Or you can have less money sitting in checking and feel dramatically more secure because some of it is protecting tomorrow. Being financially comfortable isn't having enough money for everything. It's knowing that one bad day doesn't get to rewrite your entire month. You don't build an emergency fund because you expect disaster. You build one because you refuse to let ordinary disasters control your life. The money you stop spending today may be the reason tomorrow's emergency never becomes a crisis.